Hi, I'm Sonia, and I'm going to show you the order that I apply my makeup now that I am over 50. I have mature skin, and I have changed things up quite a little bit. I use a cream makeup. I focus more on skincare than I ever used to. And so I am basically your over 50 skincare makeup. Oh, coffee loving. We don't want to forget that friend. So I am going to show you how I apply my makeup. I have my grandkids are here, so you're going to hear a little bit of noise here in the background, but I'm sure they're going to be quiet, right?
Yes.
Yes, very, very quiet. So first thing that I do before I do my makeup and when I'm getting around is I really focus on skincare. Whatever you need to do, your skin needs to be prepped, and your under eyes especially need to be hydrated. This is a balm stick. It just helps my eyes to be hydrated, and it helps it from looking that dry, cakey look, which I can get, especially right in here. I have some of that chicken skin looking stuff. So I make sure my skin is prepped. I even shaved my face this morning. I exfoliated the other day. I have sensitive skin. I don't do those things in the same day. So, then I like to probably a fair amount. I start with bronzer. And you're going to be like, bronzer first? Really? So I like to take the bronzer, and the reason being is I have some pinks and some reds in my skin. And you may have some age spots. I have some little tiny ones here and there. You may have some age spots and some melasma, and this really helps blend it in, which I know you're like, oh, and then you can use less makeup. Hang on. Hey, close that, please.
What?
Thank you. All right. And that will really help blend it in. So what I like to do is I like putting bronzer on where basically the sun kisses me. But if you have an age spot, let's say, you have an age spot right in here or a darkened area, take the bronzer around it. Don't go on top of it. And that's just going to help blend it all in. Same thing on the cheeks. So keep that in mind. I like cream. All my makeup that I'm using as a mature woman is cream. That is where I have landed. It has been the best bet for me. And it leaves me more dewy and more hydrated, which is what I want. I can apply it only where I want it, which is also hugely beneficial. Like right now, I'm just taking a little bit here. I can tap into it. I can mix. It's really easy. All right. So I'm going to do where the sun kissed me, and we're going to put bronzer on the cheeks, and I did it on the top of my forehead like you saw, and it adds a little bit of dimension too. You don't always have to contour to get dimension. Don't think that you're like, oh gosh, here I am, 65 years old. I've never contoured and now I have to. You really do not have to. This is just going to help tone your face and help you to use less makeup. And then what I do next.
Why can't I open that one?
It's got way too much color in it. I don't want that one dropped.
Can I just look at it on the table?
Yes. It's the pressed pigments. And I'm like, I don't want that to get anywhere. All right, right here. Okay, then I like to take what I call, it's one of my main foundations. I can just use this. I have two main foundations. And one, I'm going to call it a concealer. But you would maybe call a concealer a really light color. I call it a concealer, or I just call it my main shade because I have two main shades. And the reason being is I put a darker shade on my darker areas like my under eyes. So I'm concealing my redness with a darker shade. And then I have a main shade elsewhere. So I'm going to tap into, and I'm going to use very minimal. I don't even know if I'm going to use my other shade today. And I'm going to tap it onto my redness and a little bit onto my nose. I have some redness under here, redness a little bit right there. And I'm just applying it not very carefully. I'm applying it carefully just in those areas. You can be willy-nilly with it. I mean, it's not like you're having to be like worried about it. You don't have to be worried about it at all. And then I save my under eyes for after I get a majority of my makeup on. And the reason being is because many of you, if you have really dark under eyes, I don't have really dark under eyes. I just have some purple and some blue in there that I like to conceal. If you wait until you get your makeup on, then you go and look at your under eyes, the under eyes have diminished. So that's another hint. So what I did is bronzer, and now I'm just putting on the other foundation shade. So basically, it's bronzer, then foundation. For me, I wear two different shades. and they last forever. I get probably at least 6 months out of one tin, and these are $16. I mean, it's just hugely economical. Is that a word? All right. So then I have on my foundation. I've gotten on my bronzer, and then I'm going to
Leave that open.
hang on. Okay,
I
guys.
cut myself
Oh boy, how'd you do that?
on the middle.
Okay, he cut himself. Go get some. It's fine. Get some toilet paper, wrap around it, and come back.
A Band-Aid?
Nope. Get toilet paper and wrap around it first.
Okay.
I don't think he's ever cut himself, but he did. All right. So we've done bronzer, and then we did our foundation shades, and then you could contour here. I'm not going to. I am literally just going to, I think I'll do my eyes next. Now I'm all discombobulated. I'm going to do my eyes next, and I like to have a pointy brush like this one. I like to have a pointy brush that has a small end, and the reason being, I like to be able to do detail work like so, and I like to be able to just put it exactly right where I want it. And we're going to use this one. So I'm going to take this end here, and I'm going to take that concealer color, that foundation shade, and I'm going to put it here on my blue and purple. Now, for me, I can cover it with my foundation shade. You may need a color corrector, and this is where you're going to correct it. You're going to take maybe a peachy shade and stick on it, and then be able to conceal that, because then you're going to be able to wear the least amount of makeup as possible. And that's what we want as mature women. We want the least amount of makeup possible, which is why I apply my makeup in the order that I apply it. Yes, my dear.
Wow. I think I should not use a Band-Aid.
We'll get a Band-Aid in a minute. Yep, I'll get a Band-Aid in a minute. Okay, so we've got concealed. We're good to go. Maybe you used a peachy shade right there, and then you want to take a little bit of foundation and stick over it. Just remember, less is best. And I like to darken the rest of my under eye. So I take a little bit more of that bronzer, and then I will take maybe a little bit of my highlight shade, and then I just darken the rest of my under eye here. And see how the under eyes, as you do your makeup first, like makeup as in bronzer and your foundation and maybe even your blush, and then look at your under eyes, and then you'll be like, oh, they've really diminished, because I think we hyper focus for one. If there's anything that I could teach you in anything that I have learned is, if I hyper focus on anything on my body or in my life, it's way bigger than what it really needs to be, right? So don't hyper focus on those darker under eyes, and just do your makeup and then go back in and go ahead and do what you need to do to conceal them. All right, then I'm going to do blush, and I'm going to use a really fun purple color. These were some of our newer releases. And isn't this wild? It's called Ultraviolet. I'm going to mix it, though. I'm going to mix it a little bit with this pink shade, which I can't remember what the name of it is, which is, and I probably won't be able to read it. Oh my gosh. Raspberry. This is raspberry, and this is ultraviolet, and this one's Purple Rain, which, if you're anywhere near my age, you're singing the song. It's just impossible not to. So these are semi-gloss, and I really like the semi-gloss on the cheeks. It leaves a really pretty dewy look. But I like all of our lip and cheek can go on the lips and the cheeks, but they leave a really pretty dewy look, which I really like. It's not a matte look at all. Even the satin, don't think matte like on the walls. When you paint your walls, it's not like that. It's a look that I like as a mature woman, that help my cheeks to have more of a dewy look and not dried and crepey, which is what we don't want. Okay, so get a little bit on the apples of my cheeks. I have a little trick. I go upside down triangle. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and I do that a couple times on the apples of my cheeks, and then I just blend it on back here. Remember, I had a little bit of bronzer on there too. So then I'm done with that. I add a little bit of color to my face, which as mature ladies, I feel like we need just that little bit of a pop of color. And then I'm going to take brightener. This is what you might call concealer, but I don't call it concealer. I call it brightener, and it's my lightest shade, and I brighten certain areas to help create lift and dimension. You can skip this part. You can skip this part. It is not something that you have to do, but it's the order that I do the things that I do in mine. So I make sure that my eyeshadow is not too low, and I give it a little bit of a lift here. Like that. Like, look at that. See how that just lifted? Just that subtle thing lifted right there. I'll just do the right side of my face. Then you can go grab a Band-Aid, Gray. And then here, they're in that second drawer. Go ahead and look.
The one under the...
Yep. Toothpaste?
Yep.
So put it right there above the arch. And then you can, sometimes some of us can apply a little bit of brightener here. I can't apply it up in the corner of my eye very far because I have chicken skin. Anything that you are a lot of texture, don't add brightener to. And you could maybe add a little bit right here. It just depends for all of us what we got going on right there. I have a lot of sinking in areas, so I'm really careful. Then I take a little bit here, and then sometimes maybe a little bit there, and maybe a little bit there where I'm sinking in from my jowls. And then that's all I do. I make sure it's blended in. Well, I do take a little bit right here. And again, this can be an extra step that you don't have to do. If you're not a brightening person, then that's fine. You don't have to do that. I just like to use it to add a little bit of dimension. This is not brightener. I'm just adding my regular. I got my blush in too far. And then I do this, and then right here. And then if you can see just the subtleness of that light above my brow here. Okay, so what you do is when you look, and you look from the side, and then you look over here, it doesn't have where it forms a little bit more of a fuller cheek. You could contour, and adding that brightener there does that. A little subtleness above the arch of the brow lifts it up, and the outside of the eye. Subtle things with just a little bit of makeup is key to what we're going to accomplish, what we want to accomplish because of age and having to wear less makeup, which is okay. I don't mind it. Honestly, I like my makeup better now than I did in my 30s and 40s. Perfect. Who do we have on it?
Nobody.
Nobody? Oh.
This one, Rio.
Okay. It's Rio?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think I'm about done, guys. And I just need to add a little bit of brightener here just to reflect out of this sinking in eye that I have right here. And then I like to take it and then put it on the top of my cheek. You can put illuminator there too. You can even put a little bit here on the Cupid's bow if you really want to get fancy. And that's it. That's all I do for my makeup. You can powder here if you'd like. We have a pressed powder that fits into the palette. This is all-in-one palette makeup, and that's the order that I have found to be the best for me. And I'm Sonia. I am your makeup, skin-loving, coffee-loving friend, just here hanging out with you. All right, see you guys. Thanks for being here.